Hello YouTube, it's the Covenator here. We're doing some more Microsoft Flight Simulator. This time we're just going to do a flight. I don't really have a flight plan filed or anything like that. We're just going to fly around, visit my hometown of Hamilton, Ohio. We are at Butler County Regional, which is Kilo Hotel Oscar Alpha. And we are in the Cessna 172 with the steam gauges. This is not the one that comes with the G1000 that's part of the standard game package. This is the plane that comes with the digital deluxe version. So we are going to just do a flight. I plan to fly around Hamilton, maybe fly out to the high school that I went to, and maybe fly over my work, see if I can find my dad's house, maybe my brother's houses as well, because they're all real close to each other in Hamilton. So going to get the camera set up a little bit here. I've been kind of playing around with the drone camera, which is actually pretty complicated. Well, it's not complicated. It's just complex, and because you can do all. It's kind of like flying a drone. You can pitch, yaw, move in, move out, and that's all completely separate from the direction and heading that your plane is flying. So, but you can do some really cool things with it. We're going to go ahead and get the aircraft started up here. We are cold and dark. We're going to get the fuel set up here. It is set to both. We've got our takeoff trim set. We want to turn on our batteries, lower our flaps all the way, make sure that that is working, and maybe turn on the heat. In fact, we'll just turn on all the switches. Typically what you would do is you would do a walk around. We'll see how well that drone camera works. And I apologize, I'm still getting used to the controls. But normally you would do a walk around. You would kind of make sure that all the lights on the aircraft are working. And I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but there are other planes flying. We are flying with other players. This is an MMO. And he had just taken off. I have mapped these drone controls to my joystick, and that's what was kind of complicated to initially get set up the way I wanted. Looks like everything is, all the lights, it's working good. Landing lights are on. Tell you, they really did a good job modeling that Cessna 172. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is we need to get this thing fired up. So I'm going to put our flaps up first before we forget that. We'll turn all our lights off except for the beacon. Make sure our everything looks good. We want to full rich. Maybe crack the throttle just a little bit. I'm going to turn that fuel pump on just to prime the engine. Check for that fuel rise, and that looks good. Make sure our parking brake's set. We're going to start this thing up. Oh, that engine sounds healthy. Get our avionics on, and then we'll be pretty much ready to take off here. Now, because we are flying with other players, we will want to use the air traffic control to announce what we're doing as far as taxiing and taking off and all that. But first, we're going to listen to ATIS.
Automated weather observation 2200 Zulu. Wind 27. Kilo Hotel Alpha Oscar automated weather observation 2200 Zulu. Wind 276 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,100 feet. Temperature 14 C dew point, 13 C altimeter 2992.
Kilo Hotel Alpha Oscar traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 29er.
Alright, so that would actually, anybody else that's playing online would actually hear that if they were here at this airport. So, the other thing is, it said the winds was, I think, at 276, so that's pretty much guaranteeing that we'll take off on runway 29, because you always want to take off and land in the wind. I do not know how to tell these guys to get out of the way. I guess he's going to have to duck. What's great about the flight simulator is that you can take it as far as you want. You don't have to start cold and dark. You don't have to do the walk around. You can start with the engines running, sitting on the runway, ready to take off. So it's completely up to you how far you want to take it. But it's nice that the depth is actually there. When you're playing online, you can turn on the tags, the nameplates of the other people that are playing. I found that to be a little distractive, so I turned it off. I mean, you can obviously hear them and see them flying around when they got all their lights on. So I decided to go that route. And we'll set my heading bug. Make sure that's set. I don't think I set the altimeter, but I think it was 2992. So I think we're good to go there. We'll take one more look, make sure we're not pulling out in front of everybody. Like I said, we are playing with other people. So we'll go ahead and taxi down to runway 29. This is something that I really wanted to do to begin with, because you got those different game modes. You got the landing challenge, you got the different activities, the bush flying, but this is a big part of the sim, right? I mean, just being able to do a flight from one airport to another. In this case, we're just taking off and landing at the same airport, just doing like I said, a quick tour of Hamilton. But, that's a big part of the sim. And now that things are accurately represented in the world and you can actually fly strictly with just using VFR flight rules or visual flight rules, I'm really excited just to go check out a bunch of different places that I've never been to. What remains to be seen, I've obviously have watched other videos, but what remains to be seen is how accurate it is. And since I know Hamilton very, very well, I'll be able to see what's accurate and what's not. Alright. So, before we take off, we're going to do a quick run up here. Get Get our RPMs to about 1800 and check the magnetos. We should see a little bit of a drop there on each side. Everything looks good. One thing is, if there's other people playing, I can't rely on them to make the radio calls. Like, there could be somebody on final and he didn't broadcast it. So I guess you just have to be looking out. Alrighty, we'll get lined up here on runway 29. And I probably should have, speaking of announcing your intentions,
taking off runway 29er straight out departure.
I definitely should have done that before I was on the runway. Alright, full throttle. All instruments in the green. Got to keep that center line. So feeding in a lot of right rudder. Should rotate right around 50 knots or so. We didn't really have flaps set for this takeoff. You don't really need to unless you're doing a short field takeoff. And we are up. And as far as the way the airport looks, it's pretty close. I mean, obviously some of the buildings aren't the same, but it is real close. So we're going to pitch for about 80 knots here. And as I trim the aircraft out, we'll be able to take in some of the sights. Looks really, really good. And to our right is downtown Hamilton, but I think what I'm going to do first is follow the river here, because that should take us to Ross, which is actually where I went to school. There's Hamilton Cleves Road that kind of follows the river here, which is what I'm attempting to follow. And I can just see it there out my left window. Oh, so with the track IR, I can hold my head kind of outside the airplane. That's kind of neat. There's a trailer park called Skyview off of Hamilton Cleves that I'm just now passing over, and that is all there and looks accurate. And then right in front of us is a drag strip. People will take their cars and see how fast they can go on the quarter mile. Well, so far I'm really impressed with how everything looks. You know, you do the training flight and you see these mountains and this beautiful scenery, and you know, they obviously can tailor that to look exactly how they want, the time of day and the lighting and everything. But this is the real test. I mean, this is real weather, live traffic, No preset conditions, just flying how it would be in real life. And it just looks incredible. Alright, I think I see just right there up in the corner, I think I see the high school. I'll peek my head out the window, see if we can get a better view. So there's two buildings. The building closest to us was the middle school, then the high school, and then they built a new high school. And that wasn't too long ago, so this is pretty recent. Got the Ross Rams field there. This is 27, so I should be able to follow that to my dad's house. One of the things I'm really impressed with is the trees. I mean, there is just thousands upon thousands of trees. And how I am getting, 35, 40 frames a second right now, I just have no idea. Which a lot of you might be saying, oh my god, 35, 40 frames, that's horrible. But that's actually, for what hardware I'm rocking, that's actually pretty good with this level of detail. I know that some people have been having a lot of problems with frame rates, stutters, and whatnot, but on my system, it's running pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I am not happy with the load times, but can't win them all. So 27 actually connects Ross and Millville. So if I were to follow this all the way, I'd end up in Millville, which is a really, really small town. I think what I'm going to do is probably go to my dad's house first and see if it's accurate enough to where I could actually find his house. And since we are strictly visual here, there's a couple of things that I'm looking for. One, there's a big plaza right outside his subdivision, a bunch of buildings. It was called, it used to be Loaders Marina. They had boats there and all kinds of stuff back when I was a kid. Now it's a shell of what it once was. So I'm looking for that, and then there's a cemetery right next to it. And I actually think I'm flying right towards it. I just went past Queen of Peace. Actually, it took me a minute to realize what that bigger building was. So now we're kind of coming up on it. So there is Loaders, and then there is the cemetery. And if I look close enough, I can actually see the headstones. That's nuts. Alright, I need to feed in some power before we stall. Do not get sidetracked. Alright, if we fly across the street here, this is the beginning of his subdivision. And, yep, I see it. Along with his neighbor's house and everything else. That's crazy. Try and find my brother Tom's house. This is Black Road. I'm coming around to it, I think. Yep. And He's back in here. I think that was Black Road. I need to slow down because I'm going so fast. There's Black Road. Okay. So... his should be pretty easy to spot, just based on the streets. Coming around to it now. Yeah, his neighbor's got all this open field. There was one year when we were over there and they were just letting off all kinds of fireworks for the 4th of July. That's crazy that I can find it like that. That is just... that's insane. Alright, I think I'll head to my other brother's house. So far, 2 houses, no problems. It's going to be a little trickier to find my brother Scott's house because his house is really densely packed. Lots of trees, lots of houses. But again, just like I found my dad's house, you know, I'm looking for some visual cues. He is across the street, or the entrance to his subdivision is right across from Baden High School, and probably, you know, half of my dad's family went to Baden. It's a Catholic school. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Admittedly, I'm a little bit lost here. I know it's back in this general area. I may have to loop around. But there is a golf course as well. I just don't know how far I need to go down. But, you know, the river's straight in front of us, as is Hamilton. So it's not like I'm really lost or anything. It's just... wait a minute, I think that's Baden over there. It's very distinctive because it has a green roof. So it'd be pretty easy to spot from up here. There's also a high school, so I think that's actually the high school. So I'm looking at Wasserman Road right there with the subdivision, so I just need to go just a little bit further, and I think there's Baden. Yeah, you got like Ross Hanover Road that kind of comes down. Yep, there's Baden. And if we were to go east a little bit more, we actually, you can kind of see the beginnings of the golf course here. Yeah, that is, we have definitely found it. And then right across from Baden is the entrance to his subdivision. So yeah, look how dense that is. There's a little condo village right there that I could see. Okay, I can kind of see the street, and I think I saw his house. It was definitely a lot harder to spot. So I wouldn't say that was a I definitely saw it, but real close. I think what I'm going to do now is maybe see if I can find where I work. And that should be really easy to do because it's pretty much right off a high street. So we just got to go across the river here. But I think I want to fly over it from the south. So we're going to kind of go south here and then turn north. There is there's the government service buildings I can see with the green caps. That is all accurately represented. And yeah, and I think the building is the paint appliance building's over there somewhere. I think it's Miami University. Not there. Oh, there's Miami University. That's where I went to college. Just absolutely amazing. The parking lot, the buildings, they all look exactly. And I don't think this is photogrammetry. You know, some cities are in the sim. I think this is just the Black Shark AI producing this. It just looks great. And then there's the airport that we took off from. So I'm going to swing around to the north, and yeah, that's Route 4 there. Well, with this flight getting as long as it is, I think I'm going to go find my house and then land. My house should be pretty easy to spot. This road out to our left is the Michael A. Fox Highway 129. We should be able to just follow that to Westchester, which is where I live. And we're just coming over, this is like Menards, I think, and there's those buildings with those 3 red roofs. I remember seeing that from the highway. Pass that all the time. Then there's like a Walmart, a Kohl's, there's a Home Depot, and then you have Bridgewater Falls, which the entranceway into this big shopping complex, there's like 2 ponds, and you can actually see that. You can see the 2 ponds and the bridge coming into it. just absolutely incredible. Alright, well, if we continue following the highway here, it basically dead ends into 75. And that's about where I'll be looking for my house. Because pretty much over there in the Cincinnati, off of Cincinnati Dayton Road. There's a park along the right side of the highway. I want to see if I can pick it up. Yep, there it is. There's actually a couple parks. There's a cannon, or not, I don't know if it's a, yeah, I think it is a cannon. There's like a statue of a big, you know, World War II, World War I cannon. It's up on the top of a hill, a big hill. It's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't see it. I may have already gone over it. But there's a big pathway that you would, oh, I think I do, I think I see it. Yeah, here's the walkway. Yep, and that's right there, that circle spot, that's where that cannon is. That's crazy. And there's a pond. I used to ride my bike over there all the time, and I would cut through these neighborhoods. So I think I'm going to start actually turning right here, because I should be able to catch Westchester, the Swordsville Road. And a big visual indicator of that is there's a high school, the Union, I think it's Union Elementary. It might be a freshman building now, I'm not really sure. I know that when my kids went there years and years ago, I want to say it was an elementary school or a middle school or something like that. Yeah, there is Union. Very distinctive. It's kind of got like a triangular lot, triangular parking lot. If you ever decide to come to Hamilton, there's a couple places you need to go. One is Flub's. That's where they got the best ice cream. And two is Richard's. They got really good steak sandwiches. And Westchester's got a pretty good ice cream place too, called the Cone, which is off of Cincinnati Dayton Road. But I'm not having a hard time finding my house at all. I got a water tower that's off my street, which we are just basically flying over. And then there's a church across Tylersville. There's the water tower. There's the church. And right there is my house. The houses are real spread out like this, and really big yards, and you have big visuals like that with churches and water towers, and I mean, that was probably the easiest one to spot out of all of them. Alright, now if we just come back around to heading 29, should be able to see the runway. Well, I'm really impressed with this. I mean, there were a few things that I noticed that wasn't exactly right, but it's super, super close. I mean, the visuals of Bridgewater Falls and the cemetery, the golf course, Baden, the government service buildings. And those are kind of, you know, all distinctive landmarks. You know, the courthouse. Alright, we should let everybody know that We are coming into land.
Kilo Hotel Alpha Oscar traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra 4 miles east 2,600 feet inbound to land runway 29er.
Need to start thinking about landing here, so we need to lower our throttle a little bit.
Kilo Hotel Alpha Oscar traffic Cessna Alpha
Pitch for
Sierra X-Ray
speed,
Golf
power for
Sierra is on
altitude.
final runway 29er to land.
We want our approach to be about 80 knots, but I'm way too high, so we'll probably be over that. Then the street, or the road that's right in front of us, going left to right, is bypass 4, which they just ended up redoing, and it's completely messed up with, you know, you basically have to do a U-turn to go straight. It's hard to explain. It's supposed to make it way more efficient. I like how the AI puts you got some traffic on the roads. That's very cool. We got another trailer park home that we're just now flying over. I tell you, it's so nice out. I may take another flight. We're a little high. Going to do a little bit of a slip to try and get on the glide slope. There we go. We're on the glide slope now. Alright. Idle over the piano keys there, and then look at the end of the runway and just try and hold it. Bleed off that airspeed. Oof. Not the best landing. Not my best landing by far. But still a landing. Well, that was a lot of fun. I think I'd like to go a little farther the next time. That was just a real short around the block kind of flight. But I'd like to be a little bit more daring, and maybe you know, I got several of my friends live farther north. So one's like Centerville, Dayton, and the other one's like in Germantown. So again, I wonder if I can do the same thing. Just use highways and just visual references to just fly there, you know, without really doing a flight plan or anything.
Kilo Hotel Alpha Oscar
Just,
traffic
I
Cessna
absolutely
Alpha
love
Sierra X-Ray
that I
Golf
can do
Sierra
that.
is clear of the runway.
Yeah, I should have announced that a little sooner as well. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see some more. If you want me to fly over your hometown, let me know and I'll do it. Oh, that was sweet. How that sounded. Shutting it off. But yeah, if there's places where you want me to fly or go, let me know, and we'll check it out. Well, thanks so much for watching. Do like and subscribe if you want to see more. and we'll catch you in the next video.